Welcome to the video. Welcome to the training. Whoever shows up late, no problem. You're going to be seeing either this or a replay. Okay. So if you come in, just a quick question, just a quick reminder. Please mute yourself so that we don't have an echo and it's not a mess. But from there, today we're here to talk about the three main strategies to be able to eat carbohydrates and to be able to get lean on the process and really using that as a functional system. Okay, like people tend to believe that this is not what is possible, and I'm going to share things like a huge presentation in a second. But before that, I really want to spend a couple of minutes talking about you've been here and people that really commit to show up and say yes, I'm going to see the training. If you're here in the chat, you can put live. If you see this somewhere else, like inside Facebook, you can put replay. That's allowed me to first and foremost to track how many people were here, as this is streamed in multiple places. Secondly, that allows me to really put some topics inside the post, inside the groups, to be able to find this thing faster. Now, the other thing I want to talk real quick, briefly about is really and I want to thanks a lot of people showing interest on that, because I know it would when you put things such as on Facebook or in a post, 3 strategies to be able to eat carbohydrates and not store as fat. I know that creates a buzz usually because people do not believe that this thing is possible, or they think or they actually feel like whatever you're saying is not true. Okay, so welcome to everybody. Excellent. I'm just gonna have you mute yourself. Welcome Paramjita as well here. As we start this presentation, one more time, if you show up late, that's no problem. If you see a replay, that's no problem too, because like you'll be able to get this presentation here and to really get whatever you need to get. Okay, at the end, I'm gonna give a something really interesting for both of you who are here live. You are already in my program. Therefore, it's something that you can do. Of course, is included inside the program. Something that's going to happen really exciting in a little bit, few weeks. Yet, you will be able to do it at your own pace. It's really something that is an additional value. Now, what we're talking about today is really this idea that when you talk about 3 main strategies to eat carbohydrates and not store them as fat. One more time, Europe, a lot of people on the wrong way, and a lot of people obviously are excited, as you should, because when you're saying the truth and this is working well, it's amazing that you can include things in your lifestyle. With this being said, today, I'm not only going to show you how to do that, but I'm going to back up every word that I'm saying with the explanation of why people usually fail to eat carbohydrates and being effective on that. And the whole context behind it, meaning like you will learn about human physiology, about why your body struggles with those things usually, and we'll dive in it right now. Now, the one thing I want to start with, and this is almost like an intro, is that the fitness industry or weight loss industry in 2022 completely sucks in a way that it's so easy right now to just post something on Facebook, or just to read a book, or just see a webcast or whatever the case is, or a podcast, and then based on the reality that you hear on that podcast, you believe something or you don't, right? And that really defeats the scientific method, in a sense that there is a lot of study that is manipulated. There is a lot of things that it's not like before, in which you had to, even my time, it was in a way that you had to do certain steps, meaning like including a degree, including certification, just to be able to talk about those things. Right now you can just go online and Google, and you find pretty much everything. And the problem is that people, on that sense, do not really understand what the truth is, and do not believe, or better say, they believe what is convenient, right? And as I'm sharing this today, we're going to talk about that, and you're going to learn exactly what I mean by that. When you post something like that, and again, I want you to stay until the end, or if not, whoever sees the replay, just pay attention at the end, because it's really going to be coming out everything together. This is how I lost 3 kilos in 7 days, be fair, let's say 10 days, and still enjoying, you know, all the carbs that I wanted. And obviously, in a way that you actually not only lose weight, you get lean, but also you don't store as fat, right? And when I'm saying like losing weight, and it's funny because most people see like losing weight and then they say, okay, you're just losing really weight, you're not really improving your body composition. No, you actually improve body composition. That's why, right? And so I want you to really pay close attention to what's going to happen. But who am I and why should human listen to me? For those of you that don't know me yet, or like you might have followed me inside the group and everything, my name is Jerry. I'm the owner of the Better Over 40 program. And basically, like, why should you even listen to me? It's not because of my degrees, you know, like this helps for professionalism. You know, I do have more than 20-year experience in fitness. I have an exercise physiology degree in Barry University, a countless of you know, certification as far as training. I help over 500 ladies, you know, stop emotional eating and transforming their life, you know, inside and out, as you'll be able to see, for example, here. But the reality is, why am I able to help you, you know, if you do follow the direction, is because I empathize with you, meaning like I know exactly what you feel, what it feels like, and I know the story of somebody being an emotional eater and having a messed up metabolism because of years of dieting. I know exactly what it feels like to wear a shirt like that, not being able to really feel comfortable in your body, like whether or not looking down and say, is it sticking out? Is your stomach sticking out? Or not be believable or credible as much as, you know, compared to other people, you know, because, you know, like, you know, you do a job that, you know, requires you to be quote unquote with the abs, right? So I do understand what it means, like when people ask me, like, give me a plan, and then like I'm gonna follow it, right? And most people do get this request, and then they don't, in a way, because, you know, the average trainer tells you to follow something, and the problem is that they do not empathize with you. Like they almost asking yourself, why can't you follow that? It's so damn easy, right? Like it's so easy to follow it. Why can you not follow it? Because it's really about understanding that you need to see the world with their eyes, and most trainers can do that, and most program can do that, because it's only one-sided, right? And why I was able to why I'm saying like that the fitness industry sucks is because everybody advertises or promotes that there is one strategy that works, meaning like if you do EMS, or if you do cardio plus a low carb diet or a high carb diet, or a paleo or a vegetarian diet, you will see a result. And this creates this idea that there is a belief system that you lean on, and if you're not able to break that belief system, then you never get to the end results. Meaning like you get things such as, okay, I cannot eat this or I cannot eat that. There is good or bad carbs or whatever the case is. And instead, of course, is the reality is there is two trajectories. One is a psychological and the other one's physiological trajectory, in which you have to build skills, in which you have to become good, and in which you have to get ownership in understanding that half of the time that you're not successful is because your own boundaries that you put, right? And again, why, if you understand that, then you create results like this. And this is undeniable results, meaning like all this as a story behind it and as an interview behind it. And whatever the schedule they have, they're able to get this because they understand the context in why, for example, carb are not good nor bad, in why something is cardio is good or bad, and why you need this because of that, right? And again, and what I created, it's a system which a lady usually needs to undergo, especially when you age, as you hit your late 30, your 40, and of course this works also for in your 50s, is that in order for you to create results, you need to balance off your metabolism, right? You need to accelerate your weight loss. You need to build a body that you love. It's not like you're losing weight and then under that there is nothing, right? Like you need to build the muscle. You need to sculpt that body, that of course that accelerate your metabolism and the ability to be functional as well. And then you need to be able to reconnect with who you are, in a sense, to be able to build the habits as well as the technique to maintain the results. 95% of people lose results, and this is the unfortunate truth. Today we're going to focus about Only we're going to be focusing about, and making a mess here in my slide, on the reshape acceleration. When it comes to weight loss, there are strategies that works better than other. Okay, you know, you could technically get weight loss and accelerate your shape creation in multiple ways. And I'm just checking here or something. No, it's good, perfect. But of course, there are some that works better than other. Okay, now today again we're talking about why carbs are bad, right? Why carbs are bad, or why they have this really it's becoming more and more often to hear that, you know, this food is bad, that food is bad, or this food is good, right? No, so when you come to say something like, you know, carbs are bad, or you shouldn't eat that, or shouldn't have that, and I ask people, okay, you know, why do you think that? And okay, because I you know, I gain weight, or I gain weight easier, or if I eat carb, I blow up like a balloon. And I say, okay, what do you eat? I usually eat pizza. I go out and eat chocolate, and I was then getting out. I'm getting out and drink, right? And like that, I gain 10 kilo, 20 pounds, right? And I say, okay, what do you? I mean, well, okay, we know why you gain weight, right? So why do you do? What are you gonna do now? I'm gonna try keto, or I'm gonna try intermittent fasting, or I'm gonna try this because I need to take this off. I need to restrict carb, right? So why would you try? And this is so funny to me. Why would you try a 20 or 30 rule diet there is like 20 rules to follow, right? For a simple problem, which is like you eating socially, or you eating that the food that you're not supposed to be eating, right? And if that's the case, right, when you know that, then the problem lies on understanding where the main parents is, not on something being good or bad. Okay. Welcome to AJ as well. Please mute yourself. Good seeing you, man. I see all the time that you are on the content. That's great to see you. Then I ask again, okay, what is the pattern? I'm eat when I'm home, right? I'm eat like I get home, I'm tired, I'm stressed, and I'm open the fridge and I cannot resist, right? Okay, so there is a pattern here that is a problem, and it's not about the carbs. It's about the stress that is created from that. It's about maybe restricting food during the day, and it's about eating food that is clearly combos of carb and fat and a lot of calories. Okay, so when you see things in this way, you understand the difference between believing something is bad and something is good. Okay, and if you understand that, or better say, if you don't believe that, right, then you're the lady that tries, you know, to eat, to restrict carb or stop eating carbs, and then like you lose weight and you get excited for 2 weeks, and then for some magical reason, like you gain the weight back, or it stops, or meaning like you get into a plateau and you don't know what to do. And obviously today you're learning why that happens, and you're learning what to do, because usually you look like you, and the funny part is that you restrict food and you restrict carbs, and then like you look simply merely a smaller version of yourself, but you still don't change your shape, right? So you go on the scale, you see, okay, you know, I'm supposed to lose weight, I'm only losing this and this and this, that's not a lot. And I feel so, and this is so unfair, right? Because the world is not fair. Like my friends can eat the double the food that I can, and she loses weight, or he loses weight. And basically this is what happened. It's not your fault for hearing that. It is your fault if you watch this today and you do nothing about it, and you have no idea, like and again, everybody has their own truth. Like I said, if you believe, or if you have amazing results with like low carbs diet, with keto, whatever, go for it if that's the case. If you don't have results, and if you like that, and if you hear that today, and if you do nothing about it, and if you still go away with the same belief, chances are nothing really is going to happen. Like if you instead do something else, chances are you're going to improve. Like I said before, there is three main problems which most restricting approaches of dieting don't address. Number one, as you age, and this goes for men too, but mostly for ladies, is that you experience metabolic slowdown. So these three here things needs to happen for you to be able to revert, to be able to not have this happen to you, to be able to get lean and keep the leanness. You lose muscle, right? And you have hormonal decline. So the function of the hormone is not happening anymore. And what happened is that the hormonal symmetrical system, which is the system which I created, basically get you to do the opposite. It gets you to create metabolic uplift, muscle tone, and hormonal function. Another thing that happens is that you become, we call it you call it the insulin loop. It's really more like, insulin resistant, but it's more like the metabolism is inflexible. Okay. Right now, you believe that if you are insulin resistant, the carbs are bad. The reason why you're insulin resistant is because of your carbs. When your insulin, when the metabolism is inflexible, in other words, is that on a healthy person, you learn how to eat, to consume fat when you're not doing anything or when you're sleeping. And when you do activities such as running, exercising or moving, you consume carbohydrates. Like your metabolism is very efficient consuming glucose or lipids, right? When you are metabolically inflexible, then your body burns everything all together, but not efficiently. So you burn a little bit of everything, not efficiently, and then you turn up like this, right? The funny part is that everybody believes that this is for the carbs, but nobody tells you in physiology, certainly not the YouTube gurus that promotes low carb approaches, don't tell you that carbohydrates in a hypocaloric context get you to be more insulin sensitive. On a hyper, like more calorie that you need, it gets insulin resistant, right? So like this is kind of like the reality that nobody tells you, right? Why do you believe whatever you believe? Because you really never constantly and chronically are in a calorie deficit, okay? This is the problem. Or if you are in a too stressful calorie deficit, your body shuts down, basically. Another thing that you might have heard is that the problem is that carbohydrates, or better say, you go and take a test and your thyroid is not working well, so you need to reduce carbohydrates, right? The carbohydrates are the building blocks of the thyroid, and especially starches, not carbs like fruit and vegetable. Starches are the building block of the thyroid. And most of the time that you go and you can observe a test like that is because your thyroid is become like that as a consequence of not eating carbs, not because of the carbs, okay? And of course, the last thing that carbs do are the first fuel that your body asks, okay? So it's very important for that. Can you live without carb? Absolutely, but it's more efficient. It's like saying, I'm gonna drive a car, which is a diesel car or like a very fast car with gas that sucks, with a gas that is not for the car, or like saying like we're gonna drive with different gas or not efficiently, and you can still drive a car. It's not gonna be efficient, right? And of course, another thing, and I'm saying like you notice that I'm saying something positive and something negative, is that carbs make you blob like a balloon because of the water retention that it creates. Now, that's a good thing and a bad thing. It's like, if you are looking at the scale, then you eat carbs today, chances are tomorrow for each carb grams that you need, you're getting 2.5 carbs of water, right? If you get that math, you might be a kilo or a couple of pounds more tomorrow and you feel like you're getting fat. Realistically speaking, it's not like that. It's a momentary illusion. The other thing that happens is that we are made of mostly, when we are made of muscle, the muscle is made mostly of water. So if you get dehydrated and you eat zero carbs, like you never get to build and keep muscle, which slows your metabolism down, right? We're coming back into what we said before, muscle tone, and this is why that happens. The funny part is that when you look at the whole thing, and this is why I really wanted to create this today, there is good and bad carbs. And I see this BS all the time online. Like I see that and it drives me crazy because good and bad carbs. Now, if you go watch the right and you say good carbs, and the left is bad carbs, you will see that some of it are made of different, fats as well. And these obviously are the bad carbs. But literally, come on, like you would see why that on the left is bad. Not because of the carbs, because of the combo of calorie, because of the combo of sugar or processed food, of fat that you're not supposed to eat. And of course, it's very palatable as well, meaning like it's easier to binge on this kind of food, right? This is why they're bad. And in fact, I found this is actually closer to the truth. And it's like, okay, this is, why this is good and why this is bad. You can actually stop the video and read it if you want, but it's literally because what I just said is a combo of carbs and fat, which are highly palatable, which are, it's easier to binge on, and it's not easy to stop when you start, okay? And of course, if you have this tendency, and this is why most diet that you count points or you count or you just get, you know, reduced whatever, reduced size, whatever he is, like, you know, Weight Watcher, Herbalife, like whatever, like all those fats diet that really allows you to eat as much as you want as long as you stay within the points. They never change that because you're not changing your behavior. You're still going for the palatable food, but you're not really hitting the right button, so to speak. Now, when we talk today, like I said, you're going to learn exactly how to fix this, but we need to start from understanding why we eat and why we struggle with food. We eat because of satisfaction and we eat because of taste, because we need to be full and because we eat food, we eat for taste, right? There need to be a safety place between hungry and full. This is kind of like the best place to be. On the same sense, you want to eat for ideal food for 7 out of 10 taste food. Meaning, like, you don't want to have such a boring diet that you're satisfied, but it's boring because it's gonna make you binge. It's like it's gonna, no, it's not gonna make you binge, but it's going to make you break the diet. If you eat broccoli and chicken every day, or if you eat such an extreme diet, such as keto, whatever you eat, that is like, it's good for about a week, but then it sucks because you cannot eat that, and then you need to get out and you need to be social and you can't. I mean, it sucks. Like you're not gonna be able to do it, whether you are full or hungry or starving, right? If you eat too palatable, if you eat ice cream and burgers every day, or cheese potato, whatever the case is, you are by nature, even if you stay in a calorie deficit, gonna make you binge more because I hear that all the time. I eat healthy foods and I don't lose weight because, like, even too much of a healthy things is a problem. Like when you go overboard your calorie, right? We know that, right? So this is where this comes in right now, is that how I was able to lose, and I put it, lost 3 kilo in let's call it 10 days. And I'm insulin resistant, like I have an insulin resistant tendency, and I'm 40 years old, and I am training from 20 years now. That means like don't know how much you guys know about training and nutrition, is that usually the newbie gains, the person that trains right now, or the obese person, or the person that has an injury and start training again, you would get faster results. Now, if 3 kilos in 10 days is not fast, and most of it being fat, I don't know what to tell you. Like that sounds pretty fast to me. And I did it because I wanted to, first, obviously, I'm on a lean journey myself, but I wanted to make it possible for people to see. And this got a very excellent reaction for most people, and got some negative comments and some people DMing me and saying, like, why do you say this bullshit that you can eat as much carb and not storing as fat? I'm not here to tell you that you're going to eat donuts and pasta every day, but I'm here to tell you that there is a system that is going to promote that for you, and it's going to be, and it has the physiology to back it up, and it creates a way to eat that is sustainable in time. So there are 3 specific strategies that you're not doing. I guarantee you're not doing at least one of this, or you're not doing that correctly, that creates these 3 things here that we said, and it's very sustainable in time, okay? So welcome to some people are showing up now. One more time, you'll be able to see the replay in case that you cannot, you cannot see the whole thing. That's fine. Welcome again to the video. I'm gonna real quickly mute yourself. And then if you need to ask question at the end, that's a possibility. One more time, if you've seen the replay, you can go in the chat and type replay. If you've seen live, you can type live. Get constant on typing on chats or doing stuff on the group. Like when I say comment here, comment there, do those things, even if it sounds stupid or boring, because it's much easier for Facebook to show you more of the material, because obviously this is what you need. This is what you need to see. Okay, and the first thing that creates like we said, we need 3 things: metabolic uplift, hormonal function, and muscle tone, in order for you to be able to sustain weight loss, especially, and lose weight, right? And the first thing we're talking about, I said it before, stop using chronically low carb approaches. They have a place in everybody's life. They have a place in my week. They have a place even maybe in your day, but they do not have a place long term. Because if you do not see yourself doing a low carb approach or a keto approach or something that you can sustain forever, you essentially running in 2 problems. Number one, you are slowing down your metabolism, you are losing too much water, and you don't have what that word is, like the you do not have an environment, we'll call it like that. I have to I have to get the word, but you don't have the environment to build the right type of muscle. And if you don't build the right type of muscle, you struggle with hunger, you lower your metabolism, and then chronically you do not get to you not get to improve the body composition. In other words, you might be able to see some weight loss, but you're not able to see better body composition. So you end up looking like that. You look like if you're a pear shape or you have a apple shape. And again, this is not judgmental. It's just a fact, and it's not. Some people has the belief that there is a body type. There is so many body types, but they say, okay, there is a pear or a apple, whatever. You're just a small apple, but you're not improving. Like you don't show up and look like that. And this is not genetics. This is something that you can actually get. If you are a specific body type, you can still get closer to your body type by doing the work that you need to do. So do not stop. So stop using low carb approach all the time. Okay. And this, again, this impacts, like I said before, two problems: metabolic slowdown, and then muscle loss. Only this tactic here, you slow down your metabolism by 7% at least. And this is kind of like the thing to back it up. Healthy metabolism, active thyroid, active hormone thyroid, fast metabolism. Inactive thyroid metabolism obviously slows down from calorie or carb restriction. So either or, okay? Even when the problem with low carb approach and any other approach that is extreme is that you cut off 1,000 calories a day, which is not sustainable. For most part, in fact, it's not even for the carb, it's for the hugely calorie restriction, which is very hard to understand how to calculate your calorie when you do a keto approach or when you do a low carb approach, unless you do it from a very long time. The second problem is interacting with your hormones, meaning like it really slows down your hormone, and it's carb timing. It's like you never eat the carb at the wrong time. This has multiple way that you have to see it. A good time to hit carbs is when you wake up, because they're mostly insulin sensitive, from the fast that you haven't had that you had during the night, or if you have a window of eating type of approach, if you are a person that fasts, that whenever you break the fast is a good time to hit carbohydrates, believe it or not. You just need to eat that time correctly. Now, the second thing, the best time to eat carbohydrate is before and post workout. Okay, this is very important. Now, why this is that this is why you get a plateau, and like you just take off some calorie when you do a diet, and then you find a hit or you hit a plateau, and then you just need to cut off more calorie, right? And then you keep going down, so your metabolism decreases, right? What happens is that, though, and again, I said this has multiple things, is that if you learn how to refeed your carbohydrates with the right type of carb and the right timing, what happens is that there is this compensation mechanism. When you refeed, you build muscle. Of course, that needs to be matched with the right type of intensity and to at least some movement or at least some workouts, so that you don't store as fat. But what happens is that when you refeed carbohydrates, as your calories go down, your metabolism goes down too. But if you refeed them, you essentially lift your metabolism up. This needs to be at least a couple of days, and needs to be done with technique, and needs to be done correctly, because otherwise, obviously, you gain fat as well, and this is part of the problem. And this takes me to the last part, which is really about understanding, one more time, how to uplift your metabolism correctly, which is carb spill out, right? Spill over, meaning like if you refeed too much carbohydrates, and this is the problem most of everybody that goes into a diet, they don't do this on purpose, but they restrict food, and then they eat food, and then they feel like, oh, I'm gonna quit the diet, I'm gonna start eating like before, and you binge. And when you binge, whether you binge from good food or bad food, you basically do this, what we say here is that you fill up your store. We have some store intermediate energy that you can store in your liver and in your muscle, and then everything else really needs to be matched with your metabolic rate, or it's going to be stored as fat. This is why this happens. One more time, the storage that you can actually Google that, but this is really what happens is that you have about 300 grams on your muscle, 20 grams or 80 grams on your liver, and then the rest is on your few grams in your blood sugar. And again, you ask, okay, what happens with the rest? Meaning like, what happens with the rest? The rest is that, happens that your metabolism and your movement is going to get rid of that. This is why you do not, gain fat all over the place. But in the same way, if you match with the right intensity and the workout, then you can actually learn how to reverse your inflexible metabolism. Okay, and one more time, it comes with the with understanding that there is skills that you need to go on every single day, and you also need to understand that one more time, there is a specific workout, specific training, as well as specific diet implementation. What I wanted to give you today, and again, we have like 6 minutes left. Actually, this thing is the thing. Like, in case you have question, what's going to happen is that when I post this on the group, you can comment all the questions down below, and then, or you can also DM me if you want about this. What happens after is that I'm going to answer everything. Okay. Now, the one thing how I got this to make this happen, and why what I wanted to give it to you here today, is this belief system that you need to start cycling your carbs and cycling your calories. Now, this is not easy to do, but it's something that can be done quite reasonably. Like, if you do all that, you get results like this. Like, this is people that work with me either now or in the past, that got these amazing results, but not by not feeling like they're in a diet. Okay, and seeing reward, like you see here, reward, meaning like, I feel like fitness is a reward, because life doesn't suck anymore when you have to restrict food, like when you don't have to restrict food, right? And of course, like Lorna here, like, she not only lost weight, but she, in 20 weeks, she basically changed to a point that some people that know her, going back to her bikini, she was able to they didn't recognize her anymore. It's like, whatever did you do to become like that? And of course, why, in my opinion, is one of the best strategies that you can find, especially as you age, is because it allows you to be social. You can still go out, like, you plan your weekend in a way and you plan your week in another way. You can eat towards whatever you feel like. It's like, today I don't feel like eating carbs, I'm not gonna eat it. Today I feel like eating carbs, I'm gonna eat it. As long as you stay within the confine of a framework, not rules, frameworks, it's gonna be super easy for you to be able to see the results. What I have for you here today, again, if you are in the program, you get this to get like all included as well. Like, you don't need to get anything extra. If you are watching this in the group and you want to know more, this is a metabolic uplift and lean how 30 days challenge. Which is going to teach you how to implement this thing. Like, right now, like, don't be one of those that says, okay, I'm going to Google my way into understanding what is carb cycling, how to implement it. I can only tell you that bodybuilders, which are like the super diligent people that do that for a living, they can do that correctly. Okay, so like, I do that almost correctly, like myself, which have 20-year experience in nutrition. It's not something super easy to do, because it requires you to really calculate your metabolism, to have a sense of your lifestyle, to have a sense of your pattern, why you get something to happen and why this is not happening. And then when you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing, then you have a few ways to eat, meaning like, you can eat by awareness, eating low calorie dense food, like we said before, as long as it's low calorie and dense. If it's like literally swapping off ingredients, like eating low calorie and also low calorie high dense food, meaning like, you can eat pancakes done in a healthier way, you can eat panna cotta done in a healthier way. So if you do that, you can easily cook those things within a few simple things, and eat those things all the time, right? Or you can learn how to actually track food, and again, this is something that is not for everybody, but I feel like for a few weeks in your life, you should know how to track food, because this is really going to give you the awareness you need to get this to do perfectly. Now, this is something that one more time, I can teach you this thing in a month, and you can learn how to implement it in that time. And if you are in the program, you'll do that regardless. If you're not, I want you to comment in the chat right now, me. And when I post this in Facebook, I want you to comment, or when you see the replay, comment me below. And again, if you are in for that, I'm going to give you all the information about, when is this going to happen or how. And then, as we said, the date. And from there, you're going to be learning how to get this kind of results. Like, I'm not telling you, okay, I'm going to teach you how to carb cycling. I'm going to teach you everything you need, because as we said in the beginning, to get this kind of results, shape acceleration is one thing. To give you context, like, you need metabolic uplift, you need to build the body, and you need to learn how to keep to keep the results. Therefore, what we talk about today is 1 out of 4 tasks that you need to do, and you need to do effectively. With this being said, we have 2 minutes left. If you have any question, please raise your hand. Like, we literally have 2 minutes. If you have more questions later on, I'm going to be answering everything you need me to answer, like inside a group or by DM. Like, if you don't hesitate to reach out to me, I'm very approachable. Like, you can reach out to me. Hopefully that was entertaining enough and interesting. Probably more tactical than entertaining, but it was very important for me to show that, first and foremost, this is possible. Secondly, this is something that is possible for everybody. It's not due to your age, to your genetic, to your limitation, to your stories. And it starts from really shifting a belief of something being possible. And we're talking about, carb being good or bad is usually because something is possible, right? Versus believing that something is bad, okay? And with this being said, this is Coach Jerry here. We have 1 minute left. I don't see any questions so far. That means that either I was very clear on the explanation, or maybe you don't have question. If you see that later on, comment below me if you want to know more about the challenge, or simply, just put your question inside whatever this is being streamed on, and I'm gonna be following up with you. This is Coach Jerry here. Welcome again. Hopefully this was good, and I'm going to see you in the next training. Excellent. Okay, so I see here Joe D. Yes, please. Just type your email real quick here, because I cannot see. I don't know if you're in the group or not. I don't see you. I just don't see your name, and from there I'm gonna reach out at you. Okay. So perfect. Excellent. Joanne, yes, I remember you. Okay, perfect. So I see you guys later. Thanks again, and I'm gonna see you in the next video.